Peace and joy, Drumheller Farms back with another video, and I got the task today of cleaning out this chicken coop. So there's been a little bit of a break in our chicken brooding operation, and normally I only have a week. I got to get this cleaned out, and then I got another batch showing up. But we got our last batch a week early, so it's been 2 weeks, and honestly I've just been putting this off to the last minute. Well, that last minute is here, and I have to clean this thing out. Honestly, it's not that bad, but it is almost 100 degrees today, so it's gonna suck. Right, and the fun begins. I'm gonna scoop it all over to this door first. I'm wearing a beard skirt to keep everything out of my beard, out of my mouth. A little bit of flies in here. It's the first time I've ever seen the flies like this. It's hot in here. Poopy. Now that is 3 different chicken batches of bedding. So I guess I'm composting it or something. Got some chicken poop in my mouth. And if you're new to the channel, you're probably wondering what this old stock trailer is. Well, this is our brooder. Mobile brooder. This is what we brood all of our chicks in. So I got to get this ready for tomorrow, and I'm gonna finally, on our last batch, I am going to install the Placid auto water finally in this thing. I've had one for quite some time to put in here, and I just haven't done it yet. So if you're like me, the first time I got my Placid auto fillers in the mail, you never seen one before, had no idea how it works. So basically you fill this up with water. You can use sand if you want, if you're worried about them freezing in the winter, not having to empty them. I'm gonna remember to empty these, okay? At least I hope I will. But they're really easy. Just fill that up with water. There's a little line right here at the top that tells you where to stop, which is pretty much full. You put this over that, like so. Okay. And then this doohickey just snaps on like that. And that's really all there is to it, okay? There's a fitting in here that screws onto this for your hose, and your hose just sits on there. And if you want to take a look at one of my other videos, I'll show you in one of the other videos how to connect the hose to the bucket. And basically it's called a bulkhead fitting. That's what I used, and I installed a shutoff and everything with a barb fitting, and they're really slick. All right, inside the brooder, which I'm gonna be putting wood shavings down tonight before tomorrow. And I'm gonna run that fan in here all night just to dry out the edges, because the trailer does leak a little bit of water. So we'll dry all that out. Normally leave them in here for about 3 weeks. I think we'll probably only brood these for probably 2 weeks because it's so warm, and just see how that works with our schedule. But you can see I got a little divider back there. That's where we keep their food, so you really don't even have to step in here with the chickens now that I got the auto filler or auto water in here. The quick tour, which you can find in other videos, but I've got wiring that runs all along the ceiling over to a cord that plugs in, and really that allows you to put lights anywhere to hang from this trellis system that I built up here. And I clamp them. Don't use those clamps like this, or you will probably lose all your chickens and whatever they're in. There's a front door there that allows breeze to come through really well, that has a mesh on it. And like I said, you can see it in other videos, but that's the quick tour. Oh yeah. See it coming out of there. Real nice. And you can see it's starting to shut itself off just before it's about to overflow, which it looks like it's going to need an adjustment. So it's the weight of the water that shuts that off. If I pick up on this, it's going to go. I push down, it shuts it off. And your adjustment's right here, which I got 2 notches. That's about where the ones out in the field are, and it's pretty close to the top. There. That should be perfect. And we're headed to the post office because we got more chicks. This time we're doing some Freedom Rangers, and it's going to be our last batch that we're supposed to be doing this year. It's our last scheduled batch. Now we'll see if I end up selling all out, or if we decide we want to be even more ambitious and do more, we're going to order more. But we got 200 Freedom Rangers there waiting on us. The last 750-ish birds that we've done this year have all been Cornish cross, and I've kind of been wanting to do some Freedom Rangers, but just the way that our operation has been working and the way that they're finished and the brooding process and the finishing process, I have not been able to do them. But now with our last batch, we're going to take them a little bit longer and see how it works. The Freedom Rangers do take a couple weeks longer, so I hear, to finish out. Maybe 2 to 3 weeks. I'm just going to keep an eye on them and see how it goes, because I don't really know. This is our first year doing pastured raised chickens, and we will have 1,000 of them under our belt after this first summer. So we're not really playing around. And I'm hoping to have some chicken left in the freezer after this fall, so we can continue to sell them, you know, partially through the winter or whatever. So come along, we're headed to the post office. All right, we're here at the Parma post office. Let's see where our chicks are at. Had a nice conversation with the lady at the post office, because the last batch just showed up to our house out of the blue, and that's not good. Luckily Allison had the morning off of work and she was able to take care of them, but every other batch has come right to the post office. So we had a little conversation about that. I didn't record inside the post office, just simply for, you know, the post ladies' privacy. I didn't really want to get into that with them. So all right, we're back on the farm. I gotta go inside and get changed before I get in there, so I'll be back out in a minute. Oh, that was quick. Got the water in here. I do have a couple more waters I'm gonna put in just so that there's, you know, if something was to happen with that, I feel like the first day or two, you kind of got to keep an eye on those waters because, you know, make sure there's no malfunctions to them. I am going to put a couple more of these little waters in here that are right on the ground. I think it'll be easier for them to get, and they're a little more foolproof. I don't think there'll be an issue with something happening. So I am by myself today, and normally I have help doing this, but that's going to be all right. We're busier than a couple cats covering their own crap at the city business, and nobody's available to help me. Allison has got a ton of stuff going on. Johnny, who has helped me in other videos, you might have seen him. He is busy out on jobs along with everybody else. So I'm by myself, and I have 4 bids to run today. So I'm gonna try to knock this out, get these chicks in there, and be on with my day. All right, lights are on, the food is in here, the water is in here. I'm gonna count each one of them. I'm gonna dip their beaks in the water. So for being 80 degrees outside, believe it or not, the brooder is actually really cool. It's in the shade. I got the fan going. So I think they'll be anxious to get under the light. All right, first batch of Freedom Rangers are going in the brooder. And they are a different color, that's for sure. I like to count them. Look at that little guy. One, 2, 7. They're already drinking, you see that? And you can see they're starting to get underneath the light. You showed them where the water is, and they're already going after the water. And the one was kind of getting over by that light. 13, 14, 15. Now we've gotten all of our chicks this year from Town Line Hatchery, and we've had great luck with Town Line. I'll tell you, my first Cornish cross that I got from them of the season, we did 156. Well, 150, they sent me 156. We only had 2 die through the whole process. That's from start to finish. And I had 0 show up dead and had 0 die during the brooding process. So they're very good hatchery to work with, and I'm excited to continue our relationship with them. So 53 in that first box, we had 1 DOA, all right? And you can see them, how they're running around, very lively. That's what you want to see. That means they're healthy chicks. All right, I added another water. You can see they found the lamps. They're huddled up a little bit over that one, but I just think it's because they don't realize there's more than one. Those lamps are pretty close to the ground, so I'm confident with as warm as it is today, they're gonna do just fine. Now, you'll notice 2 different piles here. They're running around chasing flies. That's pretty funny. We give them biochar for the first week of their life in the brooder. So right there, they're on that biochar right now, eating it. We got a customer that makes that stuff, and so he got me a 5-gallon bucket of it, and I still got about a 1/4 bucket left for 1,000 chicks. And so for the first week of their life, I'll make sure they have access to that biochar, and then the whole time they're in the brooder, I give them 1 scoop of fresh soil every day. And it's amazing, as soon as you put that soil in here, man, they go right after it. We ended up with 210 that they shipped us, and only 2 of them were dead on arrival. So there's 208 of them that you see in this brooder currently. They're doing great. They're very healthy. They're running around. They're going underneath the lamp. They're leaving the lamp. They're going to their water. They're going to their food. So I'm confident we've got a good healthy batch of chickens here. Some of you might be wondering why we dip the beaks in water, and that's because these chicks do not have a mother hen, have never had a mother hen, so they really don't know what to do. And there's a pretty good chance that they'll figure out where the water is, but it's also nice to just show them. Here's where your water is, and they'll know where to come back to every time for their water. One more thing to make note of. Chicks are very susceptible to noise, wind, just about everything. So we do keep this right up by the house. You can see it's real close to our driveway. I think it's nice because they get used to that noise. They get used to the gator coming up to do chores every day, and they're just less sketched out. But one thing I will make note of is put them in the brooder, make sure that they're good, check on them, and leave them alone. I know if you have kids, you probably they want to get in there and they want to touch them and hold them and everything. And you know, these chicks have just gone through the most stressful day of their lives. They were hatched, they were probably tossed around at the hatchery, they've been tossed around in the mail carriers, vans, and probably several different ones, and then we just ripped them out of the box and put them in another new location. So it's good to get them in there, make sure that they're healthy, make sure they have everything they need, and leave them alone. I believe that biochar and the fresh soil is somewhat of a natural immunity for them, and so I highly recommend you, if you can't find any biochar, at least give them a scoop of soil every day while they're in here, and I think it makes a huge difference. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. God bless.